Hi, I'm Andrew Villalobos with the Old Riverside Foundation, and I'm here today with Dr. Vince Moses. Dr. Moses is the former director of the Riverside Metropolitan Museum. He also holds a PhD in United States history and modern Latin America, and of course now is a historian and author of a really exciting book on Henry L.A. Jekyll, which is a local architect here. Vince, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're so welcome, Andrew, anytime.
All right, so what we're going to be doing over the next month or so is a video series that we're calling Ask Vince. And we're going to be covering some really interesting topics related to local architecture and local history. So the first question is surrounding the Mission Revival style. So I'd like to know a little bit, or let viewers know a little bit about what that is and who were kind of the major players in our city here.
Up until about the mid-1890s, architecture in Southern California reflected the vernaculars of the eastern United States.
Mm-hmm.
America conquered the Californios around the time of the Mexican-American War and eschewed everything Spanish. Beginning in about the late 1880s with the publication of Ramona by Helen Hunt Jackson and the use of that with Charles Fletcher Lummis and Harrison Gray Otis of the LA Times,
Mm-hmm.
there was a shift toward a desire to restore the California missions,
Mm-hmm.
which were in decline, which were decrepit. Lummis saw them as a way to create an exotic identity for Southern California, which he
Mhm.
viewed as a kind of new Mediterranean. And he began to argue that if we restore the California missions and use those as a model for our new architecture for Southern California, it would be a great way to build tourism, because we can promote this as an exotic new
Mhm.
west of the United States,
Mhm.
the new Mediterranean. He formed the California Landmarks Club in 1895 for the express intent of building interest in restoring the missions
Okay.
and of getting architects themselves interested in a style based on the missions. One of the first was Arthur Benton of Los Angeles and Lester S. Moore of Los Angeles. They took up the call, and then in the exposition of 1893, there was a California building
Mm-hmm.
designed by A. Page Brown of San Francisco in something of an eclectic Moorish mission style
Mm-hmm.
that Benton was influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
So he began to design buildings around Southern California around the turn of the century based on the Page Brown model and
Okay.
on the California missions.
And to make it, really easy for people that are just learning about this, what are some of the prominent features where you could point to it and say that's Mission Revival?
Probably the most familiar to everyone are the mission dormers, the scalloped parapets in the
Mhm.
front of most of these mission style buildings, and arched entryways and arched porticos.
Mm-hmm.
What we call, architectural historians call, quatrefoil windows
Mhm.
above the main entrance. Those are the primary features of this kind of fanciful fantasy version of the mission architecture. And you'll see those still all over Southern California. There's even a large mansion to our south
Yeah.
here, and in a mature, kind of a mature, severe Mission Revival style. Benton then was called in by Frank Miller to design the first phase of the new Glenwood Hotel, which became California's Mission Inn.
Mhm.
He designed that mission wing in the Mission Revival style in 1903. Prior to that, the first probably Mission Revival building in Riverside downtown was the First Church of Christ Scientist on the corner of Lemon and 6th Street, which really looks like a knockoff in ways of the A.
California
Page Brown
building, yeah.
California building.
Yeah.
It has Byzantine, classical, Moorish mission,
Mm-hmm.
California mission, arcade.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a perfect example of that style.
Wonderful. Well, we don't want to dive too deep, but I hope you all enjoyed that information, and keep an eye out for future videos. Thanks for joining us.